Hello everyone! It has been a hot minute since I've done a video. Yeah. Yeah, a lot's been happening. It's been kind of fun. Not really, actually. I don't know why I'm saying it was fun. It was kind of bad. The reason that I wanted to talk about this particular title today is because while I was kind of in this rut, and whenever I'm sick or whenever I'm kind of, not feeling social, I sometimes just kind of like veg out. And one of the things that I do is sometimes I'll watch, like a TV series. Like I just watched both seasons of the Santa Clarita Diet, sorry. And that was really phenomenal. I recommend that. And then I started rewatching some old animes that I had finished a couple of years ago, and I was just like, oh man, I haven't seen these in a while, and so I rewatched them, and that kind of got me thinking, ooh, my channel, not that I have a plethora of videos, most of the videos that I've done right now have just been kind of like, not necessarily like dark, but definitely more philosophical. They're kind of more serious. I would say my funniest one was, The Perks of Being a Loner. So the entire point of this video is to talk about anime. Yay! So like I said, most of my videos are just on the philosophical, kind of more serious side, but I do have a fun, nerdy side. Anyways, anime has been a part of my life for 90% of it, and I just really want to share a part of myself that is very near and dear to me. So let's begin. First of all, I didn't know what anime actually was by definition until I was like 15. And since all the anime I watched when I was a kid was English dub, I never realized how much of a nerd I was growing up from a young age until like a couple of years ago. So the first anime I ever watched was Sailor Moon. I was rather the girly girl when I was younger. So much so that whenever I did something bad as a kid, instead of being sent to my room, my parents would actually make me wear pants instead of dresses. Just give that a moment to sink in. So anyway, I was obsessed with this show and generally watched it all the time. My aunt for my 5th birthday recorded like over 60 episodes on a VHS tape and gave it to me for my birthday. It's like the best gift ever for like 5-year-old me. On a side note, she also did the same thing for Scooby-Doo, which I also loved, but that's not anime, so we're just gonna move on. Flash forward to when I was like 7 or 8. I just had moved from North Carolina to Pennsylvania. And at that time, the most popular show was Pokemon. The original with Misty and Brock, now whatever bullshit came after. My cousins had a ton of cards, some that they gave to my sister and myself because they had a bunch of extras that they just didn't want. Just fine. I was also playing the video games on the Game Boy SD. I think I got that when I was like 9 or 10. And I had to plead my mother to let me get this one, and I loved it. It was great. Best purchase I ever made as a kid. Okay, so I will admit I'm not a big Pokemon nerd. Like I like it, but I'm not like a fan to the extent that some people are. And while I can name like a good 50 of the original Pokemon, and like maybe another 20 of like the 2nd and 3rd generation. After I was 9, I was kind of over it because I had discovered my first adult anime. Ooh. When I say adult, I don't mean that traumatizing Boku no Pico or some weird tentacle porn hentai. Ooh. I mean that it was an anime on Adult Swim. The cartoon show program that comes on for adults, hence Adult Swim. It was on the channel Cartoon Network. I don't know if anyone else in any other country has Cartoon Network or Adult Swim, but in America that's what we have. So the name of the show was called Inuyasha, and unfortunately it officially ended a few years ago, but I'll get to that later. Since it was on Adult Swim, And in 2004, the adult programming didn't come on until like 11 p.m. I actually had to sneak down anywhere between midnight and 1 a.m. in order to watch it. I got in a ton of trouble when I was 9 because my parents could sometimes hear me, or my sister sneaking downstairs to watch TV. If they caught me, they would usually punish me with no TV or computer or something along those lines. But there were a lot of times when I wasn't caught, and I watched the show as often as I could. Now, the reason this habit of going downstairs to watch TV didn't last for very long was because of 2 reasons. One, my father had started to comment more often as I was growing up on the particular shows I was watching. He would start asking why I was still watching those kids shows, and you have to remember I was like 10 or 11 when he was asking that. Also, my sister, who's about 3 years older than me, was watching more like serious shows, like Crossing Jordan, Charmed. Supernatural had actually just started up around then, which is like mind-blowing because I think it's on like what is it on? Its 5 billionth season? I don't fucking know. Then reason number 2, which is a little more important, my father decided to buy a box known as TV Time. This device was basically a keypadded box that could fit up to 4 different passwords and the admin password. The admin can set it up so that each account gets so many hours and even what days you can watch. So on school days until I graduated high school, I'm just gonna repeat that. Until I graduated high school, until I was 18 basically, there were 2 settings. During the school year, I got 3 hours starting on Friday at 3 p.m. until Sunday at 10 p.m. The device also immediately shut off after 10 p.m. every night, even if I still had some minutes left. During the summer, I got 5 hours, but it was for the whole week, so from Sunday until Saturday. I also got computer time installed on my computer, and this was before I knew how to like officially uninstall programs and do actual computer things on my computer. This is the same concept as a TV, except I got an hour on the computer every day, and it always ended at 10 p.m. The only exception to this is when I had a paper or something school related that I had to do, which sometimes I would lie about in order to get more TV time. Or not TV time, computer time. With these 2 things in place, my electronic time was like severely cut in half until I was about 14. That was when I got my first iPod Touch. Now, my father was against me getting this because when he looked up the specs, he saw that it had Wi-Fi capabilities. At one point after I got it, he tried blocking my iPod from the Wi-Fi, and I lied and told him it worked, so he would leave me alone. What can you do? Now, by the time I was 14, I wasn't really as into anime. Again, I didn't know it was its own genre. I just knew it was an animation that didn't feature real people, so it was considered childish by my father, and I was starting to believe it. But after getting my iPod Touch and being able to go onto YouTube, I was kind of looking up random videos of I don't even know what when I stumbled upon a part 1 of an Inuyasha episode, and I was just like for anyone that doesn't know, back in the dinosaur era of YouTube, before if they started really getting on copyright things, you could actually find like they had like 2 or 3 parts of an episode of like an anime or whatever. I think even like some regular shows that you could watch. They've cracked down on that now, but back in the day that was a thing. So I start from the very beginning, because even though I had watched it on Adult Swim when I was younger, firstly, by then it had been like 5 years, and Adult Swim had never shown the episodes in order. So even though I was enjoying the show, the concept of the entire plot was a little lost on me. Now, really, Inuyasha was the only anime at the time that I had interest in, and that was mostly because I really just finally wanted to know what the f*** it was about. After finally having that question answered by slowly but surely binge watching all 164 episodes on YouTube, I took a break for a few years. About 4 to be exact. With the restrictions on my TV, computer, and with Netflix only starting its streaming service, So most of the shows and movies were kind of shit. I became more of a social media nerd with Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and I focused more on my career and music goals. After my senior year of high school was over and I finally graduated, my old Windows XP computer that was pretty much ancient history was finally trashed. The TV boxes were taken away, and for my senior graduation gift, I got my first laptop. All mine and no restrictions because, yeah. Now, after 4 years of me being out of the anime loop and kind of almost forgetting about it, for the most part, what, I hear you saying, got you back into anime? A cat. Really? Inuyasha, man. It was around this time that, after almost 9 years of nothing, they were finally producing the last of the manga into the anime series, titling it Inuyasha the Final Act. I don't know where I heard it. It might have been a clip from YouTube, it could have been Tumblr, maybe it was even from a Google search at 3 a.m., but I was shook with. I'd watched the series in English dub because American TV. And when I found out these 10 final episodes were also in English, I was prepared. Well, not really. I couldn't find it on YouTube, so I scoured the internet until I found somewhere that had all of the episodes in good quality and in English. In one 5-hour binge session on my phone, I laid in bed and watched the end of an anime that actually had a huge impact on my entertainment life. I grew up with this anime, and to watch it end, I actually cried when it was over. Tears of joy, I assure you, but also of melancholy, as it signified the end of a large era of my life. After that moment, I went on Netflix wanting to watch some of the older episodes of Inuyasha that I had, and after I went looking for it in the anime section, other shows started to catch my eye. First one that I noticed was Bleach. It reminded me so much of Inuyasha that I was immediately intrigued. And that, my friends, is when my life of running from anime was finally over. As well as my life in general. My social life would never be the same. Not that I had much of one to begin with. After that, I discovered some of my favorite shows like Black Butler, Fairy Tail, Ouran High School Host Club, Princess Jellyfish, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Soul Eater, and just so much anime. And that is partly the origin story of how I became the massive nerd you see before you. What the fuck is wrong with me? I literally have no life because of this shit. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I did a little bit differently this time. I had an actual script in front of me and I'm trying my hardest to kind of get more to a point in my videos. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. You can comment down below telling me your favorite animes, what your origin story was. Tell me if you liked this story. Tell me if you're having a good day. I don't care. I like seeing comments down there. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos, and you can also tell me, to pick up the pace if you really want to. I hope you guys are having a good week. It's good to be back, and I will see you next time. Bye!